Okay, so feet dry. What we can do is, let's see now. Right, so just to recap, we joined from the ship, or we come in from the ship, which is way down here. Track northeast to feet dry, or track northeast and then turned east on the targets, which are.
Pull up.
That one was it? It was.
I believe the targets aren't marked on the map, are they?
No, they're not. But yeah, in terms of location, they're here. See that? So
yeah, they should be. Yeah, just uphill from me.
So I think it's there. All right. So that's our target area.
Pull up.
And then it's pretty deep behind enemy lines. It's got the SA-15s, the SA-2s. There's an SA-3 here. Loads of low-level stuff on the front line, and then there's other stuff happening out here.
Pull up.
So the enemy front line is going to be our egress point, so that's going to be pretty hot coming in. And in addition to that, kind of stuff that we were unaware of,
pull up.
There's Red Cap patrolling out to the northeast. We've got both 27s, 21s, more 21s, 19s. Anyway, so plenty of stuff happening there.
Pull up.
So at this point, visual ID is good. We're going low level to stay below any of the cap because there is stuff there. And our ingress point is going to be coming straight over that hill, then low level down. And the mission plan was head in 090 until we're roughly north of the target area, which again is here. And then we were going to track in over these hills as cover. And then egress out. So it was going to be in place battle as we came in place 90 with me on the starboard side, coming in first. Will give us our spatial temporal separation and spatial separation, and then in place 90 once you're out to go back out over the front line. So that was broadly speaking the plan. That would sound about right.
Sounds about right.
Pull up.
On the egress, I'm going to carry on heading until I hear you call out, and then I'm going to make a 90-degree turn to starboard.
Yeah, I think we stayed pretty
Two.
close, so we're relatively happy with that.
Where do you want it? This one?
Check it. Just keep it
in the heart.
So throughout this ingress, there were no real points, even with some of the terrain, where I was worried about losing visual of you. So even when you kind of tucked in to a canyon, because the speeds were pretty constant, the power settings were pretty constant, we didn't have any major issues.
Pull up.
Yeah, I think whenever we kind of lost visual of one another, it was really kind of when you're in a safe spot, so to speak. It's very hard for a bandit to be behind you when you're in those various positions.
Yeah, and we talked about some of the debriefing points on the ingress, on the battle formation before. I think distances are good. Let me just go back to the attack view. 4,000 feet, which I think is about what we want in DCS with I'm probably the limiting factor with the BR's headset, but I think I've got enough resolution that was relatively comfortable for me.
Pull up.
Yeah.
You're on
Plus, we are quite smaller. We are quite actually small for a.
Yeah. You're on a 4K monitor, aren't you?
I wish it was 4K.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, a better resolution than VR, but it's still.
Pull up.
Yeah. So you can see in cockpit, we do dip in and out of the gullies, but we're tracking 090. We sped up at this point just because I think throttle management, which are both clocked, we were going faster. We did throttle back, so I think we kind of went to around 480 and then we crept ahead a little bit there.
Pull up.
Yeah.
Tracking it. At this point, I don't think there are any significant nails or threats. I think I had the 27, you probably did as well.
Pull up.
You can see the 29. Okay, so you can see a 29, you can see the AWACS. So I think it was a good altitude. I did notice that you were really quite low at some points, particularly over the hills when we weren't in like a really high threat environment. I think I tend to go way too low, especially on ingress, like 5 feet, 10 feet. I probably need to get out of the habit of that because it's just too much risk and not enough benefit.
Pull up.
I think, to be honest, the when we kind of brought back the throttles and actually raised it up a couple hundred feet is when the 21 crept in.
Oh, you think? Well, we'll see that
if we get, because it happened kind of a few, I think it happened within about 60 seconds of us kind of taking our eye off the ball and thinking we're home safe and calling it too early.
Okay. Yeah, so at this point we're kind of tracking in towards each other.
Yeah, we started...
I think we were funneling because immediately to your left you've got the panels,
power
cables, and then we've also got our ingress point, which is a really obvious city now. It's kind of here somewhere.
Yeah, it's just, pretty much bang on there.
Yeah, so we were probably both heading towards that. Well, I know I was heading towards that because it was on my waypoint. You were probably doing the same, just unconsciously.
I had to come in because of some power lines, and then I started bringing it to the left to compensate that drift I knew I had.
Okay, I mean, even then, 1,000 feet, especially this close to the target's not a bad distance. I'm pretty comfortable with that, if anything.
Yeah.
It's probably what we should be aiming for. So here's the in-place turn. I think I called, and I don't know if the audio on the media source is picking this up. I called the 5 miles, and then I think I just did a push to talk on the radio just to indicate that I was talking. That all worked.
Yeah, no,
well.
I think there's 2 flankers to our left that actually didn't clock us, even though we're quite close in. Which is, you look to your left again. Left again. You got 2.
Oh yeah, I did notice those earlier. Yeah, it looks like that's just a patrol area, so I don't think we got anywhere near their visual range.
Which is good.
Yeah, that was good.
Pull up.
So we talked before about pop-up distances. So I think I'm in the habit of popping up around 3.5-4 miles. You tend to pop up a little bit closer than I do. So my issue here, and we'll see this because if you remember, the target area is just, I think, to the right of that block.
Yeah.
I actually pull up with a bit of right bank without noticing it, which actually puts me off to the right. You can see where my nose is heading, and then I realise and correct and bring myself back in, so the target area is down here.
Yeah.
And then you pull up a lot higher than me, which I think is a much better way of doing it because you've got to release a lot higher. I was in danger of flagging myself there, I think.
Yeah, I think that was the one thing I was most,
Two's off.
especially the 1,000-pounders. I just didn't want to get caught in the blast. And, plus, giving it a sharp dive angle kind of reduces the AAA, and also it allows me to actually have a lot more. I can look at the surrounding area to target a lot more to spot launches in AAA.
Yeah, that's a good call. We actually knew, because we'd run this before, that there weren't any kind of AAA immediately adjacent, but that SA-15, I'm surprised.
I have no idea how that's not reporting as a command
So
center
we're
destroyed.
Buster outbound now. You made the call that you were out. We both turned in
I saw
place,
good hits.
which got us roughly back in battle, but I'm still I'm pulling it down from Buster now. I was trying to get myself back down to 480. You're catching up. I did notice when I was running through this earlier, you converge on me for a while. Was that a conscious thing, or was it just you ended up there?
I'm trying to remember. I think I got to a point where I did see you. I think 'cause there was some hills up ahead of the saddle. I was kind of just keeping it close.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't react to it. Yeah.
So I thought you hadn't got visual with me at that point, so that's why I popped flares over that town just to make sure that you'd seen me.
Yeah. I think at this point, it was definitely the false confidence from that previous run with very little issues on the egress. That's kind of kicked in because I was like, oh well, you know, we're travelling at speed, low level. There's nothing out here apart from some ground units and some IR stuff. So
yeah, we should have been a bit more. I mean, I'm highlighting here. There's 2 MiGs that are up in the mountains at that way. At this point, they haven't spotted us, I don't think.
no, I think this is the the posture we should have maintained for a lot longer.
Yeah, so we're down to. I think I was aiming for 480. Yeah, we're about 480 there. I don't know if that's his.
I'll make the canyon run through that stubble again.
Or whether or not he was vectored into intercept.
Copy.
Because there is a red AWACS up. So, I mean, that's a pretty good intercept course for him. So that's going to kind of put us on the merge kind of over here somewhere. But I don't know if he does any other movements. I'm going to go, because you're closer to him, so he goes for you first.
This is when he's clocked us. And
yeah, so that's a definite turn in there. So he's turned in the right. I don't think it's because of those. I think, yeah, he's nose on, so he's tracked you now. And let's have a look at your aircraft. So
the RWI should move into the inner second, the main circle, which I believe is it's near critical.
Yeah. So at this point, hold on, let's just double check we're still synchronized here. Yeah, so you've done that little turnaround to get yourself around the mountain. So pop up there. Yeah, so I think this is a little bit behind, but it's pretty close. And then back to 480 knots at a couple of thousand feet, which is good. Yeah, and he's at this point as well, because we're relaxed, and I think we probably both consider this valley as safe. I made the call just before I went to the exactly the wrong thing to do, exactly the perfect thing to do if you're at mid-21.
240.
And let's have a look at your EW. So your EW has got this guy in the critical area, and he's tracking around from starting off at about 3 o'clock. He's pretty steadily moving around to.
It's the rate which he transitions to my 6, which is kind of the big indicator of how close he is. Yeah. It's also the fact that my HUD EW doesn't display. I haven't given any newer symbology.
Big 21 spike, 6 o'clock, high.
So you got the mission warning. I should have seen that, and I should have seen it merging. You see it, you call it.
Come
that's
starboard.
why I'm phoning. And this is where it all kind of goes to shit, really, because we both turned into each other. I merge with him, and I'm visual with him.
Merged.
And then
Visual, coming around.
Not visual.
So, and in that merge, I lose a load of energy. I lose visual. You see him at this point because he's gone ballistic. But he fires, and that's me out of the game.
Yeah, so I saw him just before he went vertical, and when I went to try to follow him, my head tracker kind of locked in a certain position, so I did have to use the F5 to reacquire because I had a good follow up until my head tracker went rogue.
Those were some pretty good shots, all things considered. I mean, you're turning into each other now. You managed to get 3 bursts off. The first one, even though it was long range, was actually a really good burst. It was pretty close. The second and third one, I think, just lagged him a little bit. But the fact that you got any shots off at all was pretty incredible.
He slightly went to the left, so when I was pulling up, I think it was more the angles when you're going vertical. There's not much I can see apart from the sky. Threw off a little bit, but yeah, I was quite actually impressed how close that first burst went. It was more of a Hail Mary.
Yeah, and you find the time to fire off your 2 here, do you have 122s? Not sure how much weight that'll save you, but at this point I'd still be trying not to shit the pants.
I think at this point it was about 108 on the RPM, and I was like, just whack, hit that button. I'll do whatever I can just to get a bit more speed. My big issue here is when I made this turn, I should have actually committed in a straight line over the hill and then made a sharper turn. Because when he saw me go over the top, I think he already could clock that I was turning.
Yeah, he's trying to get his nose onto you there. I think you dipping down helped you to a certain degree. Just this weird ridgeline probably made it difficult for him to turn in and engage. Footage. Yeah, so you're still visual with him. I think this is where you just cut it a bit too fine, didn't you?
Pull up.
What was the plan here?
I was just going to go very low, and I was hoping that he would lose me on this kind of reverse.
Right.
That I just did, and I was going to shoot off home. I just cut it too fine and flat. Because he was... Whereabouts was he when I hit the ground?
Yeah, you had your air brake out there, I don't know if you did.
Why? I just...
Yeah.
Oh no, he's probably visual on me even then, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you still had some terrain kind of in this direction here that you could have potentially followed around.
I think it was more buying time. However, I didn't realise he'd fired on me. Had I known that, and the fact he only had guns, that would have very much changed my mood. Because I could have probably kept it at speed and just jinked and kept it very low in the terrain. Because I think with most aircraft, the guns are slightly angled upwards. Therefore, when you're low level, it makes it a lot harder to get a shot off. Yeah,
I think originally the Harrier was tilted up, and then they fixed it and tilted it down by a couple of degrees. So let's just go back to this a little bit more. So you had 3 debrief points, I think, that you shared on Discord. Have you got those in front of you? I can't swap screen.
I've got it. I think I just pretty much know them, because when I saw it, I was like, yep, kind of it was confirming rather than something new. The first one, I think, was definitely my focus on the HUD's RWR, because it's good, but it doesn't quite give you that situational awareness. So I didn't quite see, with all the different circles and all the lines on the HUD, I couldn't quite distinguish this 21 signature coming around as clearly, or the fact how close he was in the band. I think it was just a bit of clutter. I didn't quite see how much he'd moved in.
Yeah, so let's...
Because I discarded him more as a background threat.
Yeah, so this is about
the noise.
The point. Oh no, we're still a little bit further out here. So where is he on this one? So he's...
watch out for ground flight here.
He's not...
ground flight.
Okay, so he's a factor...
I think just about when we start popping up around the hill.
Pull up.
So he's a factor there. The hat is the new contact, is that right? No, I forget. No, the hat is an air contact, isn't it? It's like a little semicircle over the top of it, and it's a new contact.
Pull up.
Yeah, so he's pretty consistent out at your 3 or 4 o'clock at that point. He's not really changing his position much. And I think it was just a little bit further on when it's visual. Yeah, at this point, if I was proper eyes out, I should have seen him around here. Because I think that would have been... We just paused that for a moment. So we're just about to go over the hill, which is... here. Okay.
But yeah, the valley's marked in green.
Yeah, I mean, if I was looking, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, he was only probably coming into my arc later on, so I don't know. It's difficult to tell.
I think maybe.
Yeah, I guess when you think about it in terms of how close or how far away they can be when they look, because if you look at where you're
Falling back to...
the other point I was making is we'd got into the habit of checking each other, not for the actual original reason of battle.
No, we're doing
to
it
check that we were in battle, not
sexy.
for the reason of being in battle. So I think that was just a slipping, and not really. I think from various other gameplay and missions, just going, well, we do battle more as a formality, because we're doing other ops. We've never really been bumped, so it's no matter, even if it's the 1% of the time, it's still a percentage.
Yeah, and the other one was the sidearm and sidewinder. We did brief that we're going to take one of each. I think you just messed up your weapon loadout, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I had re-clicked onto the screen to change my fuel, but if you change
Big 21 spike, 6 o'clock, high.
Before you've completed a new rearm, it will still originate to your older one. So yeah, 2 sidearms instead of one of each.
Yeah, I think I've fallen foul of that a few times. So on this one then, I think the other point was like, and it's because we haven't done any evasion exercise or evasion training that neither of us were really kind of on form with this, was you saw the launch, I saw you called it, and I think the word you used was evading. It's probably audible on the stream.
Yeah, I didn't actually see the launch. So I looked behind me and I saw a contrail, but
Evading.
I thought that launch was actually just him. And then I saw this black dot heading up to left, and I think in my slight arrogance of AI fighting, I was like, right, well, I'm just going to try and follow him in, because he had preemptively turned to engage you. So I think that's how the AI was
Visual coming around.
That he had fired on me, and that was enough, and he was going to fire on you. So yeah, I think I got a bit overconfident against the AI, and very much underestimated my MiG-21's power-to-weight ratio and its ability just to turn on its power.
Fire.
I mean, the fact that you did something is good. I mean, you survived that. If you'd done nothing or we didn't spot it, then you would have definitely been toast. I think the only other thing is, if in that situation, I called counter starboard, thinking if you turn right, you'll drag him out, and I can get, because I knew I had a sidewise when I was in air-to-air mode, I could have got a lock on, but by that point you already committed to a left turn. I think you even repeated my counter starboard as you were halfway through the left-hand turn.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember replaying that, and I watched and I confirmed starboard, and I was like, why would I do that? I was quite clearly committed.
Yeah, no,
to
that's fine. I think you know there's a lot going on that, and at which point, yeah, at that point, I think that was the deciding moment. So, yeah, that's cool. Right, I need to jump off because I've got stuff to do, but hopefully this is actually usable. Share.